Hey y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and it's time to wrap up my March and my April reading months. Now, I've been a little bit behind in giving you all this reading wrap up, so this one may be a little longer than I like because I have 23 books to wrap up. Now, I'm going to try to keep it short, concise, and to the point, but you all know how I like to ramble, so let's get into it. In the month of March, I read 14 books. 3 of them happen to be DNFs, which I'll talk about those. And then in the month of April, I read 9 books. While that may seem shorter, they were a lot larger and they stepped out of my comfort zone a little bit. Let's start off with the first book I read in March, which was the ARC read. I read Ashley James's Finn, which is a single parent nanny romance. Sister's ex-boyfriend reading trope, gives a little bit of cowboy feel. Now, personally, I will tell you, this book here was pretty much Burning the Midnight Oil regurgitated. I did find it to be better in my personal opinion. I gave it a 4.5. But I will say what I'm starting to see Ashley do in a trend with this series is pretty much give us the same thing she gave us in Copper Lake series. Now, Copper Lake series probably is going to be my favorite of the two because 1, it has Shooter Graham. 2, I read it first. So I don't think that I'm going to continue with this new series. I did decide to pick up what I consider probably the people's champ of this series by Christina Forrest. This is The Neighbor Favor, which is the first in her I want to say it's the Green Sister series. This one is a slow burn. So let me make sure I tell you that right now. This is slow burn, very cozy, neighbors to lovers, pen pal romance that has a hidden identity and a found family trope. Personally, this is not my favorite. I wound up giving this a 3. It felt very mid to me. It could have been a little bit of the slow burn. It could have just been the characters. I typically like a lot of action, a lot of intrigue, a lot of moving the plot forward, a lot of angst. This one didn't give that vibe. Again, this is for the people that love a good cozy read. They love, a character that is soft and that they love that there's not a lot of drama. For me, this one, I didn't really get much out of it. And by the time we got to the intimate scenes or really started to see the connections between Lily and Nick, it was a little too late for me. So while this is everyone's favorite, I personally prefer the second in the series. So that's more my vibe than this one, but I would tell you this one is everyone's favorite and I had to know why. Now continuing on, I decided to pick up Haven by Drea Anderson. If you like a paranormal romance, if you like a little bit of fantasy elements, Drea is that girl because she writes it and they're all Black characters. Unfortunately, Haven was my first DNF of the month, not necessarily because of the writing style. It was mainly the male main character in this. This one is Orisha Gods and Fated Mates, and I know a lot of people probably would think, Lisa, that sounds like something you would love. You love reading Orisha Gods stories. You like the Fated Mate trope. Yes, I do. However, this male main character, Leo, really gave the energy that I don't like. He gave that alpha male macho energy that I'm man, you're woman, you do what I say. I literally don't know you from a can of paint, sir, and you're telling me I can't leave this building. I just met you today, and you're saying, oh, because you're my fated mate, if I want to leave, I got to check in with you. Sir, I don't have to do anything. I could leave right now because you literally don't know my name. So what are we talking about here? I didn't like that energy. Also, he was like, I'll be faithful if you please me properly. That's what I'm talking about, Chloe. That's the energy I felt too. He got me messed up and he got you messed up. I was not going for it. Now, I will be picking up another Drea Anderson book. I hear that I probably should start with the Night series. And that's what I'm going to give a shot because I owned the entire Haven series. It just wasn't for me. So once I finished that, I said, okay, well, I'm still in a paranormal mood. I am still in efforts of, what's the vibe? I decided to pick up another Drea, but this one is Drea Wells. Now, Drea Wells going down smooth, delicious. 4-star read for me. This one is Rejected Mate. Omega verse, small town. It has the hurt, comfort, feels, and it's frenemies to strangers to lovers. And I absolutely devoured this one. One, it has a whiskey distillery company that our female main character is trying to gain back from her father's. Now, her birth father has died, and he was a part of a pack. Now, this one is definitely going to be one that is on my family I'd like to fight, because her other father, Christopher, the man worked my nerves. And there is a lot of good plot in this one. You get to see, one, why the pack never formed. Two, what type of behind the scenes dealings her father was doing, and her other father, as well as the third father. This is a duet, and I still have to read part 2, which I need to get on immediately, but I enjoyed the dynamic. Then after that, I moved into what I know to be the hottest book in the street, because everyone on Bookstagram is talking about The Marriage Favor. Now, I did a dedicated reading vlog to reading popular books, so if you want my immediate thoughts, I encourage you to go check that out. I'll tag it down below. But this is by Siobhan Latrice. Everyone loves this book but me. I will tell you, I DNF'd it at 50%. Now, this one is a longer book. It's 533 pages with 15 hours of audio. And the audio was really good. The writing is fantastic. When I tell you that Siobhan has a way with the pen, and that she is writing this as a real, true story that you can see happening in the streets today, Lasara and Prime definitely makes sense. But for me, I don't like the characters. I don't like any of the characters. You would think that I would at least like my 2 main characters. Prime is definitely giving that energy that we need from our male main characters. However, I feel like he is one of those characters that what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. He is like, I expect my people to move in a certain way, and I don't necessarily reciprocate. And he let his baby mama go on for way too long with the shenanigans, and I didn't like that. Lasara, again, I'm not judging her for her choices. Baby, the way in which things went down, I understand why she did what she did and how she got here. She's a woman who has to take care of her own home, but taking care of your own home means checking your son, who his book to it. I'm not going to continue on reading it. I probably will try to pick up something else by Siobhan Latrice, because again, I want to love her. I just don't think that I'm going to like this series, and that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be for me, but the writing is spectacular. Now, moving on, I was like, okay, well, let me switch it up. I am going back and forth in romance. I started to read a little bit of fantasy, but let me just jump all the way into the bag, because Oathbound was calling my name. Large book, 650 pages, book 3 in the Legendborn series. And Tracy Deonn did not disappoint. When I tell you the stakes are high, the sleuthing is high, you don't know who to trust, the people you were like, I trusted you once before and that burned me, am I going to give you another shot? This one heightened and opened my eyes. Nick has never been the guy for me. I am Team Sale all the way. However, Tracy Deonn knows how to work a love triangle, which is probably one of my least favorite tropes. However, she is weaving the story immaculately. Like, I've never been on Nick's team, but now I see what the girlies are talking about. The man had the lines. He was smooth. And I said, okay, blue eyes, blonde haired Nick, come through. This one really starts to see our girl Bree get into her bag. She is really trying to like make a name for herself and really trusting her tribe. She's like, I don't have to be nobody else. I can be Bree all by myself. I don't need King Arthur to take over my powers. Hey, you're done, buddy. The Shadow King, understand that you got things you want from me, but I got things I want too, and I'm not gonna let you run me. This one is such a good read and a good one addition to add into the Legendborn story series. So if you have not started it, please consider checking it out. After that, I read Take a Chance by Maiko May. I said, okay, well, let me read something very quick, very short. And it was going to give me that vacation vibe. It was going to give me, okay, let's see if we can make this last forever, even though we only have a weekend. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I gave it a 3 because, again, it has the He Falls First, Always Been You vacation, because they met in high school And he had always fell in love with her, and she never really gave him the time of day. And if I hadn't read this book first, if I hadn't read Only for the Weak, I think I would Take a Chance a lot more than I did. It just felt lackluster in compared to reading some of the vacation flings that I've read. So no hit to Maiko May. I think that I'm going to read more from her catalog. I think she just came out with a full-fledged novel that I do want to pick up at some point. It's just that I came in with too high of expectations for this one, and it didn't meet the mark for me, and that's okay. Now, what I did not come into expectations with, but I somehow said, okay, if I needed to read Z Renee, I have All In, and it's somewhere over there. That book is a chunker. I don't need to get into that. I have to do quick, rapid reads because I'm trying to get places. So I said, okay, well, she just came out with When He's Not There. Probably one of my favorite books that I read that month. This book here altered my chemistry. I am obsessed with truth. The man is a sneaky link, but he's so loud with his action. He does not give one singular F. He said, oh, you got a man? Don't worry about it. I'm going to let him know she mine. Right at the dinner table, in his face. I'm going to make sure he knows, don't come back sniffing around here because she going to smell like me. She going to taste like me. She gonna want everything that I have to offer, and you'll never see it coming, but I'm gonna make sure you understand. Baby, I'm him. Truce and Sanai were up to no good, and I loved every minute of it. Do know, again, if you haven't caught on, this is a cheating trope, but I will tell you, it's really get your lick back season, because I don't doubt Sanai for one moment. The way in which she dealt with the people in her life that needed to be dealt with, specifically her boyfriend, no better feeling. This also has a plus size FMC representation. It is Insta Love, but maybe it's still one exception I'm going to make. Fantastic. The part 2 just came out, and I do want to pick it up. I am going to see Z at Black Romance Festival, so I might just cop it there, but 4.5 readings. I decided to read Speak next. It is I guess I would say forbidden trope, because the female main character in this one is going through a divorce, and she starts to hook up or fantasize about her divorce attorney. And when I tell you, he said, I'm going to get you everything you're worth from this man. I'm going to wring him dry. Don't worry about it. I'm going to protect you on the stand and off the stand. I'm going to make sure whatever hurt he has, he got to come through me first. This has hurt comfort. It is, again, forbidden. He falls first. She's like, I'm never going to love again. But Xavier said, you're never going to love again except for me. Right? That's what you meant. When you signed your name here and we became a team, I'm 10 toes down with you. There is a practice trial stand scene that will live rent-free in my mind until the end of time, because that tension there, that's the type of energy that I like. And she did that in less than 200 pages. She created something so beautiful through the hurt. Love it. After that, I decided to pick up Lamart's Brown's Back Down Memory Lane. This one is an amnesia trope, and I was like, okay, come through Black romance, giving amnesia trope, childhood friends to lovers. I was like, okay, well, let's see what this is about. I did not like it. There's plenty of characters that I don't like. Definitely some characters that going on in the family I'd like to fight. Looking at the cousin, I respect Soleil for, going through and deciding that she wanted to become her own woman. But I think I came in with too high of expectations that Iceland was going to stay the man he was at the beginning of the book all the way through. And when I say that, he was giving, I'm protector, I am provider, I am the man for you, you are the love of my life. I thought we were going to work through this amnesia trope, but they spent more time apart than they did together. And I never liked that in my romance. Like, I am here for y'all to be a couple. I'm not here for you to be with no other person, sleep with other persons, going through trauma. Like, why are we doing this? I think that was my issue. The issue was this romance had a good beginning, a terrible middle, and I don't even, by the time I got to the end, I was no longer interested. So that's what happened there. It is heavy, so do know that there is discussion of trafficking. It is definitely some grief. Again, the amnesia portion of it all. There is some violence, and then there is some multiple sclerosis disability awareness, so be mindful of that. I did then pick up 180 by Charity Shanae. This is also in Reading Popular Books. I really enjoyed this one. It is a marriage of convenience, married in Vegas, bucket list type of read, in which Gideon and Ryan are definitely down bad for one another. When I tell you that, this gives the vibes of, I take my vows serious. Like, you are it doesn't matter how we came about. Just know that we together and we locked in. We are going to, no matter what you need. If you need something from me, know that I've got you. It doesn't matter if I've known you for 20 days or 20 years. Just know that I'm your person now and you can depend on me. And family be damned. Like, there's some things going on in this book that has family drama that is like, okay, are you going to deal with it or who's going to do it? Because this person right here, out of here. Really enjoyed this book. I'm actually very excited to read 182, which is the best friends and the two best friends getting together. I don't know if the series is going to continue, but that seems like it's actually going to be better than book one. So I'm very interested to read that one. I think that's Aman and Bree. Looking forward, because the banter, top notch for them. I then read Aisha Bree's King's Distraction because I was reading in hopes of getting something from her done to go to Black Romance Book Festival. And this one really hit the spot. This one is a workplace romance, forced proximity, definitely giving Grump Sunshine. And they had a little bit of cat and mouse energy because Aisha is like, I'm just here to work. Like, I'm not here to do nothing else. You know how they was talking about in the Players Club? I just want to dance. Nothing else. Aisha said, I just came from a workplace where I was messing with my boss. I didn't come here to do it again. But Zeno is like, I don't want to hear none of that. I want you. You will be mine. And it's not even on no predatory behavior. Like, he's like, you are the person I literally cannot stop thinking about. I actually don't do this. I've done it once. I've messed with an employee in the past and it burned me. So I actually don't want to feel these feelings with you, but I don't have a choice. And no matter how much you run from this, I'm going to follow you. You need me? I got you. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. I want you to understand that we're here. We're locked in. Also, I like that this had Native American rep. I have rarely ever seen anyone add that character perspective and into a book outside of characters, outside of Kennedy Ryan and other authors who are Indigenous. So I do want to state that I like the way she introduced this into the book. And it wasn't to make it the entire focus, but having that representation and seeing how that person integrates with the Black community. But I just like to see that representation in the book. So loved King's Distraction. Will be reading more because I decided to purchase the series. I'm very excited to see what the other siblings have going on because their family dynamic was just so pure and so wholesome. And each one of them are rich and have their own resort. So sounds like the vibes I'm trying to be in. My next book was another DNF. I read Forever Us by Charlotte Harper. This one is Friends to Lovers, Mutual Pining. This went extremely too fast. We went from 0 to 100 really quickly. And I was like, okay, you started off real well. And then you were like hit after hit after hit. And I'm like, girl, slow down. You decided to make this 170 pages, and y'all know I don't like when you do that. Some of the things just started to seem ridiculous at this point. So I decided to DNF that one. I want to say it was at 30%. But I ended the month off with what probably is my true favorite of the month, or second favorite, which is Only If It's You by T. Lynn. Now, I had never read a T. Lynn book before. I do know that she is an urban romance writer, and I was like, okay, well, what vibe am I feeling? Sports romance? Yes, please. Boxing? Yes, please. I am so deep into my boxing MMC bag that at this point it's not even funny. This one here, fantastic. Single parent energy. Again, married in Vegas type of ordeal. This was a 5-star read for me for multiple reasons. One, JVS has never been the man that saw himself with a family, with a wife. His father had always told him, never let a woman settle you down. Actually, keep multiples of them because they are a distraction. But when he met Kaylani, he said, Daddy, you don't know what you're talking about. This woman here, I want to be everything for her. I want to be the father to her kids because her children's father is trash. I want us to be in matching Burberry outfits at the pool on Instagram. I'm going to be the antithesis of what you planned for me, Father. And really, that was the thing that burned his father up. His father is also another one. At this point, March just applied all of my female I like to fight, because his father and the plot twist that we find out in this story, I said, oh, baby, T. Lynn, you came out the woodwork with this one. And thank you. This one is also very heavy, so be mindful that there's a lot of trigger warnings for this one, but the reward of being able to see a woman be loved properly, to feel that she is worthy of that love and that she is able to trust someone to be able to come in and support her and her children. The way she was able to weather the storms, because again, you're dealing with a famous boxer, and he has a lot of his own triggers and trauma himself. And for you to be able to, weather the storm with him and him weather the storm with you, fantastic. I definitely will be reading more from this author. Highly recommend. In the month of April, I said, okay, I've got some physical books I need to chop down. But before I do that, I need to start with Harlem Rhapsody, because I went to see this author in February, and I'm just now getting around to reading her book in April. But it's okay, because that historical romance still slaps when I get to it 2 months later. 4.25. This one has a lot of mess and drama. This is centered around Jessie. Now, Jessie Fawcett is a real woman. She is an unsung hero from the Harlem Renaissance era. She was the one that really launched a lot of the careers of people that we revere today. Now, I did do a dedicated reading vlog, so I will link that in the cards and down below. Check out this reading vlog because, one, you'll hear me listen to the author as she talks about this book, but also get a deeper insight into my thoughts and feelings. This book will make you upset with history. I saw someone make a tweet that was like, W.E.B. Du Bois, we're not going to jump you. Let's go ahead and dig you up out the grave. I just got something to say to you, because that is the energy that you will leave with this book. Again, we hype this man up so much, but truly he is a colossal icon, and he did do a lot to move the community forward, but he is just a man, and do know that men fall short of the pedestal we put them on. So Harlem Rhapsody, fantastic historical reading, highly recommend. After that, I decided to pick up The Accidental Crush, because after reading King's Distraction, I was like, I still want to read more about wineries. Like, give me back in the Napa Valley, give me a wine glass in my hand. I really enjoyed Accidental Crush. This one has family drama that I didn't see coming. Like, I was like, oh, you're slick, Mia. You had me feeling one way, and I really should have been feeling another way. This is also a workplace romance in which I really loved these two characters' connections, that they decided to make it work. Long distance. They knew how, what was important for them. And also when it became too hard, their family told them, hey, This is the person you've been waiting for. Don't let anything kill what you all have going on. And I love when you can find that people support your relationship, because that's really a lot of the times what it's based upon. Yes, you don't want to let everybody into your business. Your business is sacred. What you and your partner decide to do, that is the only thing that should matter. But when you are falling short, when you are starting to make the wrong moves and decisions, and your people who love and care for you see that, they should encourage you to do better. And I really enjoyed that this was steeped in that. So Accidental Crush is definitely one that I would recommend, and I will be continuing on with this series. I picked up Still Waters by M. Monique, and I think that I came in with too high of expectations. Everyone loved this romantic suspense, small town romance. It wasn't for me. I'll just leave it at that. I will probably be picking up M. Monique's The Hood Flower Girl, but I will not be finishing Still Waters. That's that. I did read No Ordinary Love by Maya Ariel, and I will be doing a dedicated reading vlog because I did go see her when she came to St. Louis as well. This story here is a celebrity romance, sports romance, that has love after divorce. Both of these characters have been divorced, and they never really thought that they would open up their hearts again. And I love that they did, because Ella and Miles were so pure, and I just wanted the best for them. I wanted to shield them from the public eye and just have them love each other in private, because they are both celebrities. So anytime you get into a celebrity relationship, you do start to see that people will pick it apart. People will put things onto your relationship that was never there. And I did not want them for that for them, because Ella had already went through that with her previous ex-husband, who was very much giving, I don't know, the entire time I was thinking R. Kelly was giving some energy that I just wasn't a fan of. And I really wanted her to be able to be with Miles and it just be, easy. Having that love that just, you don't have to, fight and struggle with. You don't have to feel like someone is wanting dominance. Their spotlight is overshadowing and providing an overcast for you. Miles and Ella just was so beautiful that I highly recommend. I know that people probably think it's a single POV, that they didn't like, that they wanted the duet. They wanted to be able to see Miles' point of view. But Miles was able to show his love and his thoughts and his actions in the book without ever having to get into his mind. Next, I read one of, my faves. Kenya Gori Bell came out with her latest release, which is Good as Hell. This one is also a celebrity romance. This one is Marriage of Convenience, Secret Baby. This one has a prince and a pop star. 4.75. It is a dark romance, but the dark romance element is not necessarily between the two main characters. It is how they handle everyone outside of their relationship, and I adored this one. This very much gave me the vibes of my favorite from Kenya Gori Bell, which is Easy Like Sunday Morning. This man said, "Oh baby, if you run away, I am chasing after you. I chose you. You're mine. Like, tag, you're it. There's no other way around it. Like, don't let this crown fool you. I'm that man, and I will have you at any means necessary. I will shake up the world for you." And because we've already shaken up the world by me choosing you, because I was already married. Let me tell you, Kenya Gori Bell knows how to write a romance that'll trap me, pull me in. This one has, this is a Moroccan prince. I think it has Muslim representation. I really appreciate that she did not shy away from making sure to incorporate the culture, just making sure that they are praying and that they're honoring. And even though, like I said, Hassan was a conflicted man, but he still made sure, hey, it's time to get down. And my son is going to know my traditions and my culture. Actually, you won't be going back to the United States. This is a captive romance. You're Moroccan now, baby. Once you step foot on this soil, there's no leaving. And if you do, that's your head. Sorry to tell you. Next, I decided to read Sinful Vows by Asia Monique. Y'all, Don't ever let me sleep on a book for so long. I've had this on my shelf at least for a year, maybe a year and a half. And I kept putting it off. I actually started it at one point and I realized as a mood reader, I wasn't in the vibe. And I didn't want to wrongfully say that this wasn't the good book, because let me tell you, it's fantastic. 4.5. This one is arranged marriage, mafia romance, where we both get down, baby. I'm a mafia princess, but don't let the princess part fool you. Mafia comes first in the sentence, and I'm about that life. Lucia is probably my favorite female character that I've read all year. This woman here, my queen. This red dress is beautiful. Oh, baby. The way in which she knows her man enough to say, hey, I'm going to give you the wedding gift of your lifetime. Like, I'm going to show you just what it means to marry me. Just what having me on your team means. And when I tell you that Enzo recognized early on, oh, this is a woman that I have to make sure that I'm with. Like, you weren't on my radar, but now you're all I see. Enzo said, you actually are my queen, and I'm going to, whatever you need me to do, you don't have to lift a finger. If you want to take up that princess part of your name, you literally, he said, you point, I'll shoot. Just wear the crown on your head. And I said, Asia girl, you're onto something. I actually also love this because this has your mafia element. So you have the Yakuza, you have the Irish mob, you have the Italian, you have the Bratva. You've got it all in this particular series, but they're black. All of them are the illegitimate children and the product of mixing races, and they have been shunned from their community, and so they were left scraps, and from those scraps they have been feeding and creating their own meal, and now they're the heads of their table and they're coming for what's owed to them. I think that Asia Monique was genius in what she did here, and I absolutely loved it. We'll be continuing on with this series. Definitely loved this first one. From that, I was like, okay, well, let me continue reading books that I own. And so I picked up Grown Folks Confessions. This and Simple Vows are also in that reading popular books. I did not love this one as much as I thought I was going to love it. I think I gave it a 2.75 or a 3-star. This one is Frenemies to Lovers. I believe it's also, is it Married in Vegas? I don't think they actually got married. Yes, they did. Married in Vegas, Always Been You, family drama, and mutual pining. For some reason, this just didn't land in the way that I wanted it to. I don't know if it was the character's decisions. I don't know. I think it was some unnecessary drama that Sherelle placed in here. And I was like, girl, why do we have to do that? Like, let's not do this red light, green light, yellow light type of ordeal. I understand making conflict for the characters, but some conflict, I was like, we actually didn't need to do this. And I'm very interested because one of the main conflict points was with our male main character. I believe his name is Aries. He's dealing with a woman that's not our female character, Layla. He's dealing with her, and she winds up shaking the table, and it was unintentional. And it left them forever intertwined with one another. If you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying. And she winds up getting a book with his family member in the near future. And I'm like, now how are we going to make this work? Don't worry, I actually own the entire series, so I will be continuing on. I just did not love this one as much as I'd hoped to, but I'm hopeful for the rest of the series because I want to love it. I want to be able to enjoy it. And maybe I'll go back and read this one and see what my thoughts are. Now, the last two books that I have, 5 stars. Love both of them. Absolutely. I can't, they're both vying for favorite of the month, but I think one definitely has solidified that space because it's all I think about. But I read Maybe I Love You by Brianna Michelle. If you are looking for top-notch friends to lover representation, please make sure you read this. This one also has a bi awakening. Our female main character, Ivory, has never looked at a man twice in her life. She has From her youngest memory of being in like elementary or middle school, she's always been attracted to women. And from there, Donovan, her male best friend, has always loved her. This entire time, he was like, if she even breathes in my direction and flicks an eyeball at me to say, oh, I'm looking at you, he's like, yeah, I'll give you everything you want. Whatever you want, I'll be able to do it for you. But he's been waiting in the wings this entire time. And not on some, I'm just waiting for you to give me a chance. He literally loves her so much that he's willing to sacrifice his happiness for hers. Even so much so that on the day of Ivory's wedding, he is getting her to make sure that he can walk her down the aisle to give her to someone else. It just so happens he's interceded. And now he has to tell Ivory that her potential wife has fled and decided they were not going to go through it. And Donovan is like, let me make sure that I can take care of you. I need to make sure that you are living with me under my protection because I don't know how this is going to affect you. And so this has forced proximity. And he's like, okay, well, what can I do to make it better? How can I help and support you? And through that, I believe they have a arrangement or dating list. And through that, Ivory starts to see Donovan in another light. And their friendship is so beautiful in the fact that they know each other so well. And that this, just naturally eases into a beautiful dynamic. Their mothers are best friends. And so this entire time, while Ivory's mother never was like, I think my daughter is going to love a man at some point. She never, put that on her daughter. But she said, I've loved Donovan as my own son. And now that he, officially is, and you have started to see what I've known in him the entire time, I could not be happier for you. Y'all, this book was fantastic. One of my favorite friends to lovers tropes recommendations that I've ever read, and highly recommend. Now, the last and final book, which I knew, I was like, oh, we don't need to read anything else. After I read this, we're going to close the month because there's nothing that is going to top Salvage My Soul by Antoinette Sherrill. Now, I have a reading vlog where I do try a chapter, so that should be coming next after this video, and you will see my initial thoughts about Salvage My Soul and see why it just gripped me so much. This story is so emotional and so heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching and so beautifully written. This centers addiction. I'm going to tell you that right now. Both characters are addicts. One is a narcotic addict and the other one is alcoholic. And the amount of turmoil that you see that they have because of things that have happened in their life. And it's unbeknownst to them, but one specific situation changes both of their lives for the worse. And ultimately, they are led to one another. And it's not until much later in the book that they realize that how their lives are intertwined with one another. They are each other's support system. And it's very difficult to be someone's support system that is an addict when you're also an addict. But they do it so well in terms of being able to be each other's rock when there is a hard point. Everyone has their ups and downs. This is one of the books that you really realize, like, how much grace you need to give people. You never know what they're going through, and anyone can be put into this position. I will tell you that this has a musician, female main character, and I'm heavily in my musician rock star lifestyle. This is a single parent trope where our male main character is a vet, so he also suffers from PTSD. He hasn't really been there for his daughter's lives. They are twins. Our female main character was a twin. She is actually the assistant teacher for his daughters, and that's how they meet each other. When I tell you, this one gives the vibes of Kennedy Ryan, J.L. Seeger's story. When I talk about emotional, well-written, complex, Savage My Soul is going up there as one of my favorite books, definitely for the year. It is now on a pedestal for me, and I will be reading more from Antoinette Sherrill. I hear that she gives her all in every one of her books, so I'm definitely going to go through her backlist. That being said, tell me what your favorite book of the month that you have read, or the type of trope that you are diving into, or the character dynamic that you are obsessed with and can't get enough of. For me, like I said, it is the rock star feel. I think that's the era that I'm very much in. So I am looking for musical books. That being said, do me a favor, for if you think that Savage My Soul sounds like your vibe, give me a guitar emoji. If you are thinking about maybe I love you as the recommendation, give me a golf ball or some sort of golf emoji. These two are standout books for me that I highly encourage you all to pick up. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.